here, I guess I'm just going to jump into this. Fez Whatley and I have been discussing this with the management, and we are going to leave the O&A channel. Both of us are leaving the O&A channel, and this is the only home that we've ever had on satellite radio. And I never really get around to talking about this kind of stuff on the air, but being with O&A has just been great. And I know for you, feel the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I heard earlier when I was down the hall the Golden Ticket talk, and just an amazing.
Well, that
time.
was a phenomenal thing to be able to have the chance after being with O&A in New York to know that we were going to come on and do satellite radio with them. I'm just going to take a couple minutes to talk about these guys because you already know how good they are. They're the best. But sometimes it's tough when you listen to a show to just know how tough it is to do the kind of show that they've done for as long as it's done. These guys are amazing performers. And I remember when we were coming into New York City, Fez and I got this call from Jeremy Coleman that we were going to come up and work with him at this radio station in New York that had flipped to talk. And I'm like, NEW? Oh, those are classic rock. It's a classic rock call letters. How are people taking this? Jeremy was like, oh, it's going to go great. We got great people. Come on. This is going to be terrific. So I tell Fez, we're going to New York. He's, what? New York? I mean, we couldn't have been leaving a smaller market going to the biggest market that there is in radio. So I'm going, this is going to be great. I talked to Jeremy. It's going to be fantastic. After that, I started to hear from some people, watch out for O&A. They're the biggest pricks. They rip all the other people. And I'm like, good. I'm a veteran of the radio wars. I've been around. At that point, you come out of the shock jock thing. You're always thinking you're the best that there is. Everybody's an asshole at that point. And I remember picking Fez up at the airport. I think it was Philly or Baltimore. So I pick him up, and then we were going to drive up to New York. And we were listening to the radio once we got in Jersey when the O&A show comes on. And I'm like saying to Fez, oh, these are those fucking guys. We're probably going to have to drop them on their ass first week, right? So we start to listen to the show, expecting, like in the rest of our career, to hear lightweights, you know what I mean? There's always somebody out there that thinks that they're good, and then you knock them down. So we start to listen to the show, and we're like giggling. And then we're fucking laughing along. And then we're just looking at each other going, holy shit. How are they doing this shit? You know what I mean? How are they doing this on the air?
Whoops.
They were so damn funny. And we pulled into New York City. I met Opie. They're doing who's the gay show on at night. And it was the most fun. Ant would drop in and do the show. Opie would drop in and do the show. We started doing Afro shows together. We'd come in and do that. That place was such a pirate ship, and it was so goddamn great. And for people to not understand how that thing stayed up as long as it did is to not understand radio. A very, very big part of that is Opie's incredible brilliance at radio. It's one of the hardest things to do is broadcasting. And the weird thing always from the outside, it seems like the easiest part of the whole game. And to be the guy who found Anthony and knew that would work on the air, to find Jim Norton and somehow get him to join a show, even though he's this terrific comedian, to being people like Bill Burr, Patrice, Louis C.K., Jay Moore. I mean, that list goes on and on. I don't even want to start and bring it up because you just don't know how tough it is to convince those people to come in and join that illusion and be part of it is really, really fantastic. And it's some of the best radio that you'll ever hear. And when you listen to it on a regular basis, you really don't understand that the amount of magic that takes. But to go over the list that I'm talking about, obviously, Opie, besides being hysterical himself and a great broadcaster, has this ear to bring people into his universe at the right time, because these guys are just building up and then ready to pop. And quite frankly, he did that with Anthony when, Anthony shouldn't have gotten a break on a radio station like that at the time. But somehow Ope was able to look into that and see when somebody is ready to ripen and then be able to help move them along. It's a tough thing to do. Ope is definitely he's the best programmer in the country, but beyond that, comedically, he's probably got a better ear and eye than Judd Apatow. I have no problem in the world measuring the guys that have come through the O&A show with the guys who have come through the movie business in L.A. Anthony is the funniest human being, and it pains me to say this because it's the only guy in my life that I love to get a laugh from. It almost embarrasses me to say how much it feels good to get a laugh from that guy because I know how goddamn funny he is. Jim Norton is probably the finest comedian of his generation, and for him to do radio, it's really, you guys don't get it. It's like if there was a certain time that Kinnison or Bill Hicks would also be doing a radio show. That show is just fucking fantastic. Those guys are fucking cream. That's Clapton, Bruce, Baker, they're fucking cream. So to have this opportunity to fly under that flag has been one of the greatest.
And we never even got a chance when we first came to WNEW to hate the guys. They were so welcoming and so much fun. And I remember I actually challenged Anthony to a fight that first week as long as we did it naked.
It was funny stuff. It was really, really great stuff. So, again, completely thanks to those guys to been a part of the O&A show has been tremendous. And I brought this up before, to go in and play with those guys. It's like playing with the Lakers. I will never forget this experience. This is probably my greatest show business experience. Opie says, Ant's not doing the show on Friday. He's going to be off taking a cruise or something. You want to come in and hang out? I'm like, fuck yeah. This is great. I set the alarm. I come in. I come into the room, and Jim Norton and Jay Moore are already sitting there. And so, I grab a mic. This is going to be great. And then the door opens, and it's Louis C.K. and Ricky Gervais. And I'm looking around this room. Opie, Jay Moore, Jim Norton, Louis C.K., Ricky Gervais. And I fucking say to myself, I'm sitting in the funniest room in the known universe right now. If any other room wants to fucking challenge this room, let's do it. And I might be the weakest link here, but I'm in the fucking room, motherfuckers. It was seriously just some of the greatest experiences I've ever had. And I couldn't thank those guys enough. Now,